there, Nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to Way of the Underhive, your ultimate guide to Games Workshop's gritty and immersive skirmish game, Necromunda. Whether you're brand new to the dark depths of Hive Primus or a veteran looking to sharpen your skills, this series is your go-to resource for mastering all aspects of the game. From gang warfare to campaign strategies, we've got you covered. And on today's episode, we're actually going to do something really awesome this time around. We're going to be giving you a brand new starting roster lists for the brand new updates to Venator gangs and your campaigns of Necromunda. Games Workshop has actually released a new Apocrypha Necromunda supplement called Bone Dry and Broke, and in that new update they've actually given a significant upgrade for Venator gangs. Now, instead of just relying on human fighters in your gang, you can now include Ogrins, Beastmen, as well as Ratlings as well. They also give you a lot more rules on gang legacies and updates for that, and so there's just basically just a giant rework of the entire Venator gang system, which is quite nice because this gang actually hasn't received any support since I believe 2017. So this is actually the very first time we're actually seeing this as well. And so in this video we're going to give you some updated rosters and how to do that. Now, as per requested by many of my viewers on my channel, a lot of people have been appreciating my 2,400 credit list for Aranthian sessions, but a lot of people have been asking for 1,000 credit starting rosters. So because of that, I will actually present to you guys multiple rosters in this video. I will provide you a 1,000 starting roster if you want to play in the Underhells campaign of Hive Secundus, or if you want to play in the Underhive. I also have a 1,400 credit roster in case you want to take your campaigns out into the Ash Waste, and of course I'll give the creme de la creme, which is a 2,400 point Aranthian Succession roster as well. And because this video will be a little bit more of a deeper dive, I will put timestamps in the description box down below so that we can click and navigate to the part of the video that interests you the most. So that being said, let's talk about playing Venator gangs and the run Underhells of Necromunda. So first of all, let's talk about playstyle with this gang specifically. Now, this gang list is actually a kind of a mixed fruit type of gang in terms of that I actually have humans, I have squats, I have Ratlings, I have Ogrins, and I also have Beastmen all included inside this list. So because of that, there's a large variety of different types of fighters that will be available to this, and I also use a lot of different House Legacy gang lists as well. And how this playstyle for this particular game works is that it relies upon you surrounding your enemies. You're going to be using a lot of infiltrate skills, so that way you can kind of get your enemies on these exposed flanks and kind of surrounding your enemy and fully enveloping them. So your gang will be a little bit more on the smaller side because it's more elite, but if you have your enemies surrounded though, you can catch them in crossfires and destroy them. This gang also has a good combination of shooting with this gang, as well as some close combat fighters in this gang as well as some close quarters battle, usually taking place between the short range between anywhere between 6 to 12 inches as well. So there's a lot of good combination of stuff that you can use in this to kind of deal with all situations. Kind of make like a little bit of an all-comers list, so that way you can kind of deal with any kind of situation you might run into. At the same time, I also have optional vehicles depending upon your campaign, so I do have 400 credits set aside for a vehicle that you can use for this gang if you want to go out to the Ash Waste or if you plan on going to the Aranthian Succession. At the same time, I'm also going to recommend what a powerful alliance that you could use in order to help you dominate with this gang if you decide to use alliance systems in your games. So the very first roster we're going to talk about is the 1,000 credit starting roster for your campaigns that are taking place in the Underhive or in the Underhells campaigns of Hive Secundus. Now, when it comes to Venator gangs, what you end up doing is you actually pick 4 skills and you rate them 1 through 4. That kind of tells you the availability of what your gangs will actually have access to. For leaders, they have access to skills number 1 and 2, as well as leadership as their primaries, while skill number 3 and 4 are their secondaries. Champions will have access to skills number 1, 2, and 3 for their primaries, with skill number 4 being their secondary, and normal hunters will have access to skills 1 and 2 as their primaries, with skills 3 and 4 being secondary. So in this situation with these skills, we decided to go with shooting being the primary skill number 1, followed by cunning, followed by agility, as well as savant. Now, we're not going to really see that much agility taking place in the very beginnings of this list. I'm mainly going to be using shooting as well as cunning in order to do most of your skills on this one. But ideally, as you level up though, you want to get access to those agility skills to make your gang even faster and more maneuverable on the tabletop. So first of all, let's talk about your leader. Your leader is going to be the squat hunt leader for this gang, and this is going to be the squat member of your gang as well. It's going to cost you 240 credits. This guy's going to have mesh armor for 5 armor save, and we're giving this guy access to the Ironhead squad grenade launcher with seismic grenades. The reason why is because it is a grenade launcher that fires a 5-inch blast template with the seismic grenades as well. Seismic grenades are great because they have the same kind of impacting power as frag grenades at strength 3, but they also have a -1 AP, and they also have the seismic trait as well attached to them, which means that your enemies will always be pinned no matter what kind of rules they have, which is going to be great for you in order to control battlefield conditions. In addition, if you are deciding to take us out to the ash waste, if you fire this weapon at any vehicle, they have to automatically take a loss of control test, which could be beneficial to you, which gives you about a 50-50 chance of actually wrecking a vehicle. Now, we're also giving this character an Ironhead stub gun for a backup weapon so that they can use that for close combat or as a backup shooting attack as well. And we're actually going to spend 35 credits to give this guy a Cypher upgrade as well. And the reason why is because we're giving this guy the Technomancy discipline. Now, Technomancy, of course, will give him the Techno Affinity skill, which means that he'll be able to re-roll ammo rolls, which is great because the Ironhead grenade launcher has a 5-up ammo check, so that will help out. But the main reason why we're taking this is to give you the ability for overcharge. Overcharge will allow you to put 2 extra strength on your attacks as well as 1 extra damage on your range attacks. So for your grenade launcher, for example, you'll be striking at strength 5 with those seismic grenades, causing 2 damage. Absolutely devastating towards your opponents. Not to mention that with your Ironhead stub gun as well, you'll be striking at strength 5 with your Ironhead stub gun with 2 damage, and it also has rapid fire, so that Ironhead stub gun absolutely becomes dangerous. Now, unfortunately, by putting overcharge on it, your weapons do become unstable. However, with the Ironhead grenade launcher, they already have instability attached to that, and with your Ironhead stub gun, you do have instability for that one as well. But you have a 4-up ammo save with your Ironhead stub gun, a 5-up ammo save with your grenade launcher, plus you also have the Techno Affinity so they can reroll ammo rolls, so you're pretty much good to go on this one. Obviously, we're taking the Ironhead Squat Legacy for this character so that way they get access to these weapons, and we're giving this character the Iron Will skill because you only have a small amount of fighters in this gang. In fact, you only have like 7 fighters in this 1,000 credits, so if you really take one loss, you're immediately starting to take bottle tests, so we're taking the Iron Will skill to kind of reduce that level as well. Now, your very first champion is also going to be your Ogren Hunt champion. It's going to cost you 250 credits. Ogrens are absolutely amazing. This guy's got mesh armor, and we're giving this guy a web gun. And the reason why is because web guns are powerful strength 5 template attacks. It also got the web condition as well. Plus, it's also silent, so you could use this for stealth missions. And we're giving this Ogren an infiltrate skill because he's a sneaky Ogren. Even though he's big and bad, he likes to take his time and sneak around and pop up on enemy flanks or in the rear and actually web them with that web gun and to capture his opponents. The second champion for our gang is going to be a Beastman Hunt champion. It's going to cost you 165 credits for this guy. We're giving him mesh armor so that way he's got a 5-up armor save, and we're giving them paired chain axes because chain axes are the absolute pwn. Not only does it add strength bonuses to your close combat attacks as well, but at the same time you also have access to parry as well as disarm, which makes it really cool. Plus he's got 2 of these things, so you can disarm, you can do parrying twice with those chain axes as well. And we're giving this guy a friend-on collar and 2. And the reason why we're doing that is because we're also taking advantage of the Beastman special rule attached to this guy. If he takes any flesh wounds, he's going to get additional attacks. At the same time, he's also immune to the effects of friend-on in terms of drawbacks, so it's nothing but bonuses for this guy. And we're also giving him the infiltrate skill as well. You're going to pair him up with the Ogren Hunt champion, so that way they show up on enemy exposed flanks and they can just wreck face. The Hunt champion webbing people with the web gun for the Ogren, and for the Beastman Hunt champion just slicing people apart with their chain axes. Now, as an added bonus, by having the friends-on collar, he's going to have a constant flow of friends-on going through his system. So he's going to come with the Nerves of Steel skill, so that way he can escape pinning with passing a cool test. He's also got the True Grit skill, Unstoppable skill as well, makes him a little bit more resilient, and at the same time he's got the Berserk skill, giving an additional attack in close combat. So this Beastman Hunt champion is just going to tear people apart with that friends-on collar. Now after that, we're going to start going to our hunters. We're going to have a House Goliath Hunter Specialist for your gang. It's going to cost 110 credits. This guy's going to take the characteristics of 4-inch movements, 4+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 3 strength and toughness, 1 wound, 5 initiative, 1 attack, 7 leadership, 6 cool, 8 willpower as well as 9 intelligence. Now we're giving this guy a grenade launcher with frag and crack grenades because frag and crack grenades on a grenade launcher are absolutely fantastic. With that 3++ skill, he's going to be reliably able to hit targets with both of those weapons. Use the frag grenades for infantry and for fighters, crack grenades for either high toughness characters or fighters or for vehicles as well. He's got a stun gun for a backup weapon so that we can also use it for close combat too. Obviously, he's taking a House Goliath gang legacy as well, and he's also going to be the gang specialist. And so if you do play in a campaign where you can continue purchasing items from the House Legacy rules, you could equip this guy with even more House Goliath goodness as the campaign develops. After that, your next fighter is going to be a House Escher Hunter. It's going to cost you 105 credits for this character. And we're taking the following characteristics for this fighter: 600 wound allowance, 4+ weapon skill, 5+ skill, 3 strength and toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 6 leadership, 6 cool, 6 willpower, as well as 7 intelligence. This character is going to be armed with a needle pistol because not only does the toxin attacks are great, but they're also silent as well as a stiletto sword. So that way they can have those tox attacks to take on those high toughness targets and take them out very easily as well. And we're also giving this character the House Escher gang legacy in order to get that equipment for your gang. Ideally, you would want to use this House Escher Hunter as kind of like a stealth character. Now, granted, the House Escher character does have a 5 ballistic skill, but with the short range bonus from Needle Pistol, that will help kind of mitigate that. Plus, the weapon is also silent, so that's also helpful, and so is the stiletto sword. So you're going to be using this fighter primarily for stealth missions. After that, you're going to have a Rattling Hunter. So now we have Rattlings in this gang. So Rattling Hunter number 1 is going to cost you 35 credits. This character is actually equipped quite simply. They're only packing a last gun because the last guns are great for medium to long range shooting between the 12 to 24 inch range as well. This character's also got the sniping skill, so that a special rule, so that way if you do aim to bonus, if you roll a 1 with an aim action, you get to re-roll that 1. He's also got the sneaking special rule, which means he's taking cover. Your opponent's suffering another -1 hit penalty because of that. And this guy's also got the slopping special rule too, which means if you roll a 6 when any of your fighters are out of action, the constant good food that this Rattling makes for them brings them out of recovery. So it's nothing but good things for this guy. But you know it's better than 1 Rattling Sniper? Having 2 Rattling Snipers. So Rattling Sniper Hunter number 2 is going to be equipped exactly the same way as the first guy. Ideally, what you want to do is you want to pair both your Rattling Hunters with your Squat Hunt Leader as well as your Goliath Hunt Specialist. That way they can activate these guys to lob grenades as well as do long range shooting with the las guns. Meanwhile, your Escher as well as your champions will be doing the close combat fightings as well. And the last thing we're going to do, of course, is spend 50 credits to recruit a Rogue Doc, because Rogue Doc should be the very first hanger-on you should always purchase, and it should always spend 50 credits to get one because Rogue Docs are worth their weight in gold. Now, the Rogue Doc's not that great in combat. They're only packing a last pistol and a Medicaid kit with a Medicaid skill, but that's not the reason why you take a Rogue Doc. You take the Rogue Doc for the patch-up special rules, so in case any of your fighters suffer a critical injury, you can do a free medical escort mission to save that fighter. Your Venator fighters are actually quite valuable in terms of the equipment they carry, as well as the skills that they have, as well as their characteristics, so you're going to make sure that those guys stick around for a long time, and I highly recommend getting a Rogue Doc as soon as possible. In fact, the very next recruit that you should put onto your hanger-ons, boots, or hired guns should be a second Rogue Doc as well. And when you combine those Rogue Docs with your sloppers, you're going to be able to recover your guys and keep them fighting longer in the campaign. So just in case you want to take your campaign out into the wilds of the Ash Wastes, if you want to leave the Underhells or the Underhive, if you want to go out and participate in Ash Waste campaign, this is my 1,400 credit starting roster for that. Just take the previous 1,000 roster that we have because it's pretty solid as well, and we're going to slap 400 credits for your vehicle. You're going to recruit a Scum Racer, which would cost you 400 credits. This character's got photo goggles that will see all visibility conditions, and you're going to give them a custom rig. The custom rig is the new vehicle that was released from the Book of Desolation, where they actually released that a couple months ago for the Underhells campaign. The custom rig's going to have track locomotion to deal with any kind of difficult terrain you might run into, and it's going to be armed with a grenade launcher with frag and crack grenades because it's a good versatile weapon. It's got frag grenades to deal with fighters who are out in the open. It's got crack grenades to deal with high toughness vehicles as well. And at the same time, you can also put more powerful weapons on this vehicle as your campaign develops. Now, we're also giving this thing a transport cage, that way your fighters are protected while they're riding on board the vehicle. They can fire through the firing porch, so they can still engage their enemies that way. It's also got all-wheel steering to give you +1 to your handling, a redundant drive system in case you take a non-glancing hit to your drive. It can still kind of protect you that way. A nitro burner to bump up your movement allowance by 1 extra inch because you lose an inch for taking a tracked locomotion vehicle, as well as an engine shell just in case your engine takes a non-glancing hit. It kind of adds that and makes it a little bit more survivable. And that was the vehicle I would recommend for you to use for your campaigns at a 1,400 credit roster if you decide to go out to the Ash Wastes. Alright, so the very last starting roster we're going to talk about is a 2,400 credit starting roster for your Aranthian Secession campaign. So if you decide to level up and go to the Aranthian Secession, this is the recommended list I'd make for you. Once again, we're still keeping the same skills of shooting, cunning, as well as agility. We're primarily focusing on shooting as well as cunning for your gang for your primary skills, but as you level up though, you can take advantage of those agility skills. Having things like spring up, for example, to escape pinning, or having sprint, mighty leap, these are all great agility skills, and moving across the battlefield is really important for you in order to dominate on your enemies. And of course, the last secondary skill will be Savant, so that you can get money and also help out with ammo rerolls on your ammo checks. So for the most part, we are just taking the 1,000 credit roster that we talked about earlier, and we are improving it with better weapons, equipment, and war gear to help your gang out for the most part. We also have included a couple more fighters in this gang as well to fully flesh it out. So once again, your leader is going to be the same squat hunt leader that we talked about before, but this time it's going to cost 270 credits, 75 credits. It's equipped relatively the same. He's got mesh armor as well as an Ironhead grenade launcher with seismic grenades, a Ironhead stub gun as well, but we're giving him photo goggles so that way he can see in all visibility conditions, because you're going to want that for both the Ash Waste as well as for the Aranthian Secession. We are still maintaining the Psychic upgrade as well as Technomancy with Techno-Affinity as well as Overcharge, and of course this fighter still has the Ironhead Squat Legacy, but we're changing the skill from Iron Oil to Fast Shot. And the reason why is because you have actually 10 fighters in this list, so you don't have to worry about losing too many fighters for bottle tests, but having the ability to fire twice with that grenade launcher, making a simple action extremely powerful, especially if you decide to actually try to use Overcharge at first, or if you don't use Overcharge, you can still fire those seismic grenades twice. So having that ability to shoot multiple times, really important. Now your Ogre and Hunt champion is going to cost you 295 credits this time, and he's still pretty much equipped exactly the same way. He still has mesh armor for 5 armor save, still packing a web gun, but now we're giving him an axe as a backup weapon in case he gets attacked in close combat. He's also got photo goggles so that way he can see in all visibility conditions as well. Still maintains the infiltrate skill so that way he can go behind an enemy flank and attack him with that powerful web gun. And once again, Beastman Hunt Champion number 1, because we're going to have 2 of them this time in this gang, at 210 credits. Pretty much still exactly equipped the same way with mesh armor, also paired chain axes as well as the Friends on collar. The only difference though is we're giving him photo goggles so that we can see in all visibility conditions. Still maintains the infiltrate skill so that way he can come in and pop up on an exposed enemy flank and cause problems. But we're also giving this guy his Nerves of Steel, True Grit, Unstoppable, and Berserk because that Friends on collar will be able to do that for him. Now, your second Beastman champion is going to be Beastman Hunt Champion number 2. He's going to cost you 180 credits. Now, this guy's also got mesh armor as well for fire armor save, but we're giving this guy a Crude long rifle, so that way he can shoot at long ranges. He still has a ballistic skill of 4 up, which is quite average, and his strength 4 shooting attack from a long rifle is great. But the reason why we're taking a Crude long rifle is because you also have a 2-inch versatile attack as well attached to that weapon, because Crude long rifles have blades and they can use them like, fighting sticks or fighting weapons. So that kind of makes this guy a little bit more versatile with his 2-inch versatile attack with those long rifles. So he can do both. He can do close combat and he can do shooting as well. He's also got photo goggles that we can see in all visibility conditions. Now normally I would like to attach an infrasight to a long range shooting attack, but unfortunately we have the esoteric special trait attached to the Crude long rifle because it is an alien weapon. So because I have to use photo goggles in order to do that, we're also giving this guy the infiltrate skill, so that way you have 3 infiltrators in this gang who will pop up on exposed flanks with powerful shooting attacks and really good close combat attacks as well. My recommendation is as soon as possible upgrade your Beastman Hunt Champion number 2 with better close combat weapons, maybe some grenades like incendiary charges, so that way he's a little bit more deadly when he's going into the clinch. So now that we're done with your champions, let's talk about your hunters. So once again, House Goliath Hunter is going to cost you 160 credits this time. Same exact characteristics as before, but we're giving a little bit more of an upgrade. He's got mesh armor to protect himself at fire armor save, still packing the grenade launcher with frag and crack grenades as well as a stub gun, and we're also giving this guy photo goggles so that we can see in all visibility conditions as well. Now your House Escher Hunter has also been upgraded as well to 170 credits, same exact stats as in the previous list, for the exact same reasons, and we're also giving this character mesh armor for 5 armor save. They still have the needle pistol and stiletto sword for the stealth and toxic attacks, and photo goggles so that way they can see in all visibility conditions. We're also giving this character skim sense so that way they can add additional bonus rolls to their tox attacks. And in Intelligence 7, you actually have a 50-50 chance of actually getting that off, so that's the reason why we equipped this fighter that way. And once again, they got the House Escher legacy. With that 6-inch movement, they'll be able to move around the battlefield very quickly, use the silent trait of their weapons to do stealth type missions. So this character is going to be actually well equipped to kind of handle most problems. My suggestion to you, if you're able to do so, is upgrade this character's skills with Infiltrate. If you can partner this character up with one of your other infiltrating champions, this character will be unstoppable and be a really deadly tool to use in your arsenal. And now we're adding 2 more hunters to your list as well with the extra credits that we got from the Aranthian Succession. Your very first fighter is going to be a House Caldor Hunter. It's going to cost you 185 credits. The characteristic of using this fighter is 4 instrument allowance, 4 plus weapon skill, 5 plus ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound, 5 initiative, 1 attack, 6 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, and 6 intelligence. And the primary reason why we're using this stat is for the intelligent characteristic, because this character is going to be carrying bomb rats. He's got mesh armor for 5 armor save, as well as a Caldor pole arm with an auto gun attached to it. Now, his ballistic skill is only ballistic skill 5, which is kind of sad, but if he's within short range distance, and you're pretty much going to be that distance at all times because you want to deploy your bomb delivery rats, he's going to be able to hit reliably on a 4-up with rapid fire on that auto gun. So that's the reason why he has that. Now we're giving them we're giving him blasting charges because blasting charges have a wonderful 5-inch blast template, strength 5, 2 damage, and we're pairing those up with the bomb delivery rats. And that's the reason why we picked this characteristic, because it's got the highest intelligence score out of all the hunters. Having your bomb delivery rats kind of scurry around and dropping blasting charges is absolutely punishing to your enemies. And that's a great way to actually start suppressing your enemies as well by using those bomb delivery rats. We're giving this character photo goggles as well so that they can see anybody they're shooting at with their auto gun as well. And we're giving this character the House Caldor legacy as well so that we can get more equipment later on. Plus, I forgot to mention this too, the Caldor polearm also gives you strength, well, +1 to your strength for your attack with a versatile attack. This guy's hitting at strength 5. He's pretty much just like bare knuckling it like an Ogren would. And speaking of Ogrins, we're going to have an Ogren Hunter for your gang. This guy's going to also cost 235 credits. He's got mesh armor for 5 armor save, and we're giving him combat shotgun with salvo as well as shredder ammo. And the reason why we're giving this character that is because combat shotguns are great at strength 4 rapid fire with salvo rounds. Now, he is a ballistic 5 character, so that part's not great, but what is great though is that he has access to shredder ammo, which means he's got a template attack that gives him scatter shot as well. And that's the real reason why you want to take this character is for that weapon. Now we're giving him an axe as a backup weapon as well, so that way he hits at strength 6 in close combat, and we're giving him photo goggles so that way he can see in all visibility conditions as well. Now when it comes to the Ogren Hunter, if you actually manage to level this guy up to get skills, I would highly recommend getting him the hip shooting skill from the skill shooting tree, so that way he can move twice and then open fire with that template attack from his shredder ammo. Or you can give him infiltrate, so that way you can infiltrate in with one of your other infiltrating champions and kind of attack your opponents from the rear or from the exposed flank, which makes it even deadlier. And once again, we're going to still have our 2 Rattling Hunters. Rattling Hunter number 1 and 2 have been upgraded. They're both costing 120 credits apiece. Both of them have mesh armor now for 5 armor save, and both are packing hotshot last guns with infra sights. So that way they're hitting at strength 4 with -1 AP with their hotshot last guns. They have infra sights as well, so that way it can actually extend their visibility conditions and attack in pitch black conditions. Not to mention they also take away partial cover from your enemies as well with both those weapons. Now we're also giving them stub guns with dum-dum rounds, and the reason why that's the case is because they have horrible weapon skill and they have very horrible strength. They only have strength 2 on their characteristics. So we're giving them a strength 4 shooting attack for a backup weapon, but more importantly we're giving them strength 4 attack and close combat so that they can use that to protect themselves. Once again, they both have sniping, so they get that bonus reroll of 1s if they miss, if they do an aim basic action. At the same time, they also got the sneaking special rule, so that way your opponents suffer another -1 hit penalty if they're from partial cover. And they both have slopping skills, so that way you can have a 1 to 6 chance of bringing fighters out of recovery. And lastly, of course, we're going to spend 50 credits on a rogue doc. This fighter's also got a last pistol, Medicaid kit, Medicaid skill, and patch up. And like I said, the real reason why you're taking a road dock is for that patch up skill. So that way, if you have anybody who takes a critical injury, the road dock can take care of that fighter and bring him back into the fight. In fact, my suggestion to you is whenever you're able to, get the maximum number of road docks, so that way you can really take care of your fighters, because as you can see in this list, your fighters are quite expensive and quite valuable. And once again, because you have the Aranthian session that takes place in the Ash Waste, you're going to go with the Scum Racer. Once again, it costs 400 credits. Once again, equipped exactly the same way as in the Ash Waste list. He's got photo goggles as well as a custom rig with the track locomotion, a grenade launcher, frag and crack grenades, transport cage, all-wheel steering, redundant drive system, nitro burner, as well as an engine shell. And once again, using this vehicle to transport your fighters across the battlefield, and of course, upgrade this thing with stronger, higher strength weapons as time goes on. My suggestion to you would be to get a mining laser for this vehicle, so that way you can have a high strength attack against enemy vehicles. So in my opinion, the best alliance that a Venator gang can make is with the Water Guild. I believe the Water Guild is actually the best alliance because it actually synergizes so well with what Venator is able to do. Now, traditionally speaking, the reason why you want this is for one additional reason. You get a benefit called pure water supply, and when you combine this with the current gang that you have in this list, it's going to give you 3 slopper rolls in order to help out your fighters. One of those will happen on a 5 or 6 because of the Nauticin pure water supply, and then you have the other 2 rolls with 6s in order to bring your fighters out of it. So it's going to be a really great way to make sure that your fighters stay in the fight throughout the campaign. But the real reason why I would think that the Water Guild makes such a best alliance for a Venator gang is because of the Water Harvest special rule, which means you get +1 roll to determine if an enemy fighter is captured at the end of a battle, and as long as the Master Nauticin hasn't gone out of action. At the same time, you also get +1 for each other member of the Nauticin siphoning delegation that didn't go out of action either, which gives you the potential ability to have 3+ on your capture roll, which was great because that means if you can actually capture at least one guy, then that means you can automatically sell that one person at full credits, okay? So Venator gangs automatically get the ability to sell their captured fighters, enemy fighters, at full credits. However, though, your opponent has to be able to chance to rescue them by doing a rescue mission. But let's say you capture 2 fighters in a campaign. One of them, if you manage to pass this Water Harvest alliance benefit, you get to sell that guy automatically. And then you get the chance to sell the other guy later on after a rescue mission at full credits as well. So you can make some really good credit generation by capturing your opponents. And in my opinion, that just kind of fits the narrative of a Venator gang because they're all about harvesting people and selling them off as for bounties and as slaves and such. So because of that, this kind of really fits that whole idea about it too. And the great thing about it is the drawback is not that bad at all. It's only D3 times 10 credits, which is very easy for you to be able to make that up as a Venator gang too. Not to mention, the delegation itself is also quite powerful. You got the Subnauticin, which is pretty much just an ogre in a diving suit. I mean, let's be perfectly honest about it. He's really powerful with close combat. Not to mention, your Master Nauticin and Siphonite also have some great toxin attacks with their toxin shooting with their needle rifles and needle pistols respectively. So that could really help you out with stealth missions as well if you need to. Plus, you have access to the Master Nauticin's Overseer ability that they can use on the Subnauticin to activate twice. Like I said before, it's just a match made in heaven when it comes to this alliance, and I believe the Water Guild alliance is the best one for a Venator gang. Not to mention, the official miniatures look really awesome as well, and that's another added bonus to that. So in conclusion, the Venator gang is still the most versatile gang in the Necromunda setting. Aside from maybe Outcasts. Outcasts are a really close second, but the way that they've updated the new rules now for the Venator gangs, they are the most customizable because now you have access to different species of fighters in your gang as well. Not only do you have humans, but you also have squats, you also have ogrins, you have ratlings, and you also have beastmen, whereas with just Outcast gangs, you just have primarily humans for the most part. So like I said, really highly customizable gang. You can really make a lot of cool choices with these guys. You can also make them very diverse with the way that you want to do it in terms of different fighters. And you can maximize that customization with those fighters based on the stats that you choose and the special rules attached to them as well. Not to mention, a Venator gang is just a great hobby gang of all the gangs that are available to you. You can do a lot of proxying if you want to, or you could do 3D printing of your own custom miniatures. You could do a lot of kit bashing to make some really interesting looking miniatures to fight in your gang, and you could also convert to your heart's desire to make it look like the gang of your dreams because they're so diverse in the way they look, and now that we're adding abhumans to the mix, there's just a lot of different options you can have in order to create your fighters to make up your gang. And by the way, if you end up using this gang, please let me know and leave a comment down below because, like I said before, I get a chance to make a lot of these lists, but I don't really get the opportunity to test them out on the field too much. So if you end up using it in a scenario or if you're using it in a campaign, let me know how it works out for you because I'd be really interested to know exactly how this operates. And of course, if you guys have any other ideas for any other gangs, please let me know in the comments below. And if I like your idea, I'll make a video about it as well. And I'll also credit you for giving me the idea. So it's a win-win situation. So that's good to do for you guys. I am Commander Cheapskate. Please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest information about the hobby aspect of this channel. That's good news for you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Stay classy.